Okay. Uh, a very good afternoon to all my dear future chartered accountants. Chartered accountants. First of all, a very happy Independence Day. CA students don't have any independence until you pass examination. So till you become a chartered accountant, you will not have any Independence Day, any Sunday, any holiday, any Valentine's Day, no coffee day, nothing. Only thing you can have is maybe idli vade, chitrana vade. Otherwise, you don't have any day left for you. Only thing is you have to prepare for examination. You have to get used to it. Will not talk too much about the independence, but still I should tell you just one sentence. Maybe you can also remember throughout your life. There is a saying that there is nothing free in this world. If you are getting free, that means there is some taxpayer who paid for it. Similarly, freedom does not come free. It always comes at the cost of many lives. So, you are enjoying the freedom means that is a result of many other people's life sacrifices. So, whenever you enjoy freedom, let us just say thank you to all those souls, and let us make sure our independence is used to the best manner possible. So, how you can become freedom fighter? How you can become freedom fighter? Of course, once you get married, you have to become a freedom fighter only. There also you lose the freedom. But if you want to make sure the sacrifices of those people are worth it, then let us do our best to the country, which means let us just become CAs, because CAs are called as partners in nation building. So you don't have to do any sacrifice, you don't have to do any social service. Only thing you have to do is become a CA. As simple as that. Okay, so with that note, let us move ahead in our syllabus. So we are discussing about the concepts of uh, statistical description data we have done. Then we have moved to measures of central tendency and discussion. Let us we have done the illustrations already, so conceptually I hope we are stronger, but to gain more confidence in terms of the clarity with respect to solving problems, let us take some problems. Okay, so let us solve problems. Okay, let's do one by one. Okay, so measures of central tendency for a given set of observation measures scatterness, central location, both. None of this. Name itself will tell you. Measures of central tendency measures central location. It does not measure scatterness. Scatterness is measured by measures of dispersion. Measures of central tendency measures central location. So first one, answer is B. Okay, let's go further. While computing the AM of grouped frequency distribution, we assume that the classes are of equal length, not necessary. Equal frequency, definitely no. All values of class are equal to mid value of the class. Yes, all classes values are equal to mid values of the class. We don't assume equal length. Equal length is not necessary. It can be 0 to 10, it can be 10 to 80, it can be 80 to 1000. The equal length is not an assumption. We assume equal to mid value. You remember what is it's also called as? Mid value has got one more name. This is also called as class mark. It's also called as class mark. Yes, class mark. Next, dispersion measures the, now you should tell, it is the scatterness. It is the scatterness. Dispersion measures the scatterness, how the things are different. When it comes to comparing two or more distribution, we consider relative measure. Relative measure. I told you, whenever the word relative comes, whether in books or at home, whenever relative comes, the only thing relative do is comparison. So for the purpose of comparison, relative measure, option B. Let's say AM of distribution is 25 and one term is 80, deviation of 18 from the AM is. This is x minus x bar. One term is x, AM is x bar, so x minus x bar, 18 minus 25, that is equal to minus 7. So see, in statistics, even to an extent logical reasoning, most of the answers can be done in fraction of a second like this. Only in mathematics it takes more time, but mathematics also we have lot of shortcuts. I'm not saying every problem will be like this, but many problems are like this, concept oriented. In your world, you call theory questions, I will say concept problems, concept questions. So if you know the theory questions well, you can answer this fast without much of difficulties. Okay, next. If the profits of the company remain same for the last 10 months, then standard deviation of the 10 months would be 0. When every value is equal, so you do x minus x bar, it is 0. 0 square, 0. So all the questions, all the numbers, what you get is 0 because everything is equal. In fact, if everybody is equal, where is the deviation? Where is the dispersion? No standard deviation. So if everyone is equal, range is also the 0, quartile deviation also 0, mean deviation also 0, standard deviation also 0. Okay. Which measures are considered for finding the average rates? Average rates. Rates meaning you understand as percentage, growth, ratio, like that. We have to use geometric mean. Yes, geometric mean. So it is option B. See, for outsiders, GM means good morning. For CA students, GM means geometric mean. I don't know, there are a lot of full forms, which outsiders full form is different. For CA students, full form is different. Anyway, let's go further. For a moderately skewed distribution, which of the following relationship holds good? The formula we know is mode equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. But none of the formula looks very similar to that. You know what you should do in that case? What we do in that case, we will take up a number as a sample and we'll substitute in the equation. I'll tell you how. Suppose median is, let's say, 100 and mean is, let's say, 80 as example purpose. So how much will be median? Mode comes to 3 into 100 minus 2 into 80. That is This is 300. This is 160. So I should get the answer as 140. So what do you do? In all these cases, substitute these numbers and see if it holds good or not. I'll do it in the first case. Check it out. Mean minus mode. Mean, how much I've assumed? 80. Minus mode, how much it is? Minus 140. That is equal to 3 into mean minus median. Mean I've taken 80. Median is 100. Will the number holds good here? 80 minus 140 is minus 60. 3 into 80 minus 100 is minus 20. Minus 20 into 3 is minus 60. You see, the number holds good. Therefore, we say that option is correct. Therefore, option A is correct. And just for clarification, let us do the second one to be wrong one. Let us try it out. This one, median, we have taken as 100. Minus mode, we have taken it, the result is 140, is equal to 3 into mean is 80 minus median is 100. You see, this is minus 60, but this is minus 40. This is not equal. So when this kind of relationship comes which is not known to you, you remember it as substitute the numbers. You get the answer. One more shortcut shall I tell you? For a moderately skewed distribution, difference between mean and mode is 3 times difference between mean and median. Difference between 3 times mean and mode and mean and median, and this is 3 times this. Sorry, mean minus mode is 3 times the mean minus median. Difference between mean and mode is 3 times difference between mean and median. Maybe you can also remember like this as a shortcut. Anyway, but if you don't remember also fine. You know the numbers. The formalized mode is 3 median minus 2 mean. Substitute for one, you'll be able to compute for another. Okay. Next. Weighted average are considered when all observations are not of equal importance. Not of equal importance. We all are not equal. Some are more important. And how do you say some are more important? You give by giving weights, higher importance. The importances are given by the weights. So weighted average are considered when all are not equal importance. Which of the following results hold good for a set of distinct observations? It is AM more than GM more than HM. Distinct observation means not equal, different observations. If it is equal, even AM is equal to GM is equal to HM. But distinct observation means they are all different. Therefore, AM is more than GM is more than HM. When a firm registered both profits and losses, which of the following central tendency cannot be considered? Which one do you think? When they registered both profits and losses, which cannot be considered? The answer is GM. Why GM? Because when you have profits, positive number, when you have losses, negative number, and a square root of a negative number cannot be calculated. So geometric mean fails when there is negative number. So if you have a loss, geometric mean cannot be calculated. For loss, geometric mean cannot be calculated. So geometric mean cannot be considered. Next, quartiles are values dividing the given set of observation into this very simple 4 equal parts. Very simple, 4 equal parts. Quartiles can be determined graphically using ogive curves. quartiles, deciles, median, percentiles, every positional measure, dividing the graph into so many parts, ogives can give the answers. Next, which of the following measures satisfy linear relationship between the two variables? Linear relationship. You know what do you mean by linear relationship? We write an equation y equal to 3x plus 2. When you write that equation, we get the value. That is called as linear relationship. What is this plus 2? Remember, what is this plus 2? Example I have given you. What is this plus number? Constant, I know. What is the property? We have learned on property. Adding plus 2 is change of origin. Plus 2 is change of origin. Multiplying by 3 is change of scale. And you know, mean, median, mode, all are dependents. So all satisfy linear relationships. All are dependents. So all satisfy linear relationship. Answer is all of this. All measures of central tendency are dependent on scale, dependent on origin, dependent on both. Therefore, they satisfy linear relationship. All of this. Which of the following measures central tendency is based on 50% of the central values? 50% means only half, which is median. Median focus only on the middle values. It does not cover everything into consideration. Therefore, that is median. If 3 observations are 15, 20, 25, sum of deviation of observation from their arithmetic mean is 0. Whether 3 observations are there or 1000 observations are there, sum of deviations from arithmetic mean, summation x minus x bar is always 0. If relationship between x and y is 2x plus 3y is 10, range of x is 15, what is the range of y? Remember, constant should be ignored. So 2x plus 3y equals to 0. Constant should be ignored. Range of x is 15. So 15 into 2 is 30 plus 3y equal to 0. So 3y is minus 30. Y is minus 30 by 3 equals minus 10. But we cannot take minus. We should make it as plus 10. Range cannot be negative. So answer is option B, 10. Oh, many of you are getting. Amazing. Many of you are getting. Superb. Okay, next. If x and y are related, mean deviation is 5.4. What is mean deviation about y? Same treatment. Ignore the constant. 4x plus 3y equal to 0. Mean deviation of x is 5.4. Substitute 5.4. So 5.4 into 4. I think you get 21.6 plus 3y equal to 0. Y is minus 21.6 divided by 3. Minus you ignore. Only positive can be mean deviation. So plus 7.2. So plus 7.2. Option A. Option A. Next. For any two numbers A and B, standard deviation is given by. Okay, this property I have not explained, but simple concept. It's called as half of range. Yes, but let me give an example. For any two numbers, let's say we take the number 10 and hundreds. Or let's say 10 and 50. Range is 50 minus 10, 40. How do you calculate the standard deviation? Standard deviation of two numbers. We have x 10, 50, total 60. That is x bar 60 by 2 equals to 30. So x minus x bar 10 minus 30 equal to 20. 50 minus 30 equal to 20. Then x minus x bar whole square. 20 square 400, 20 square 400, total is 800. So standard deviation is square root of 800 divided by 2. That is 400, square root becomes 20. Okay, so 20 is nothing but half of range. So you can always remember this, my dear friends. Shortcut, standard deviation is half of range. When? Not every time, only when there are two numbers. You remember this shortcut? For two numbers, standard deviation is half of range. In fact, mean deviation is also half of range. You can remember this property. When there are two numbers, even mean deviation is half of range. Mean deviation is half of range. Okay, next. A shift of origin has no impact on. Shift of origin has no impact on. All of this, all are independent. All are independent of origin. All are independent of origin. Therefore, it is option D. Option D. The range of 12, 15, 10, 9, 17, 20. That is simple one. Highest is 20. Lowest is 9. 20 minus 9 is 11. 20 minus 9 is 11. Okay, next. What is the coefficient of range for the following distribution? Okay, one more thing I did not tell you. I'm telling you now. In statistics, when they give you the inclusive class interval, you should always first convert into exclusive. Convert into exclusive. Convert into exclusive. Always do it, okay? So what is the highest one? Highest, this becomes 59.5. We always do plus 0.5. Remember, for the upper one, we do plus 0.5. For the lower one, we subtract 0.5. So this 59 becomes 59.5. This 10 becomes 9.5. I repeat, in statistics, for all the distributions, in statistics, for all the distributions, we will convert inclusive class interval into exclusive class interval. How do we convert? Upper value, we increase by 0.5. Lower value, we decrease by 0.5. And coefficient of range. Coefficient of range is given by h minus L by h plus L into 100. So 59.5 minus 9.5 by 59.5 plus 9.5 into 100. How much you get? 72.46, right? Okay, option C. Okay, next. If the range of x is 2, what would be the range of minus 3x plus 50? So you ignore 50, ignore sign, substitute x with 2. 3 into 2 becomes 6. Simple answers, you see. You are getting the answer in fraction of a second. Without even calculator, without any steps, in your brain only you can answer directly. Next. The standard deviation of 10, 16, 10, 16, 10, 10, 16, 16 is quickly. How do you calculate? X values 10, 16, 10, 16, 10, 10, 16, 16, then x square, x my x bar. Don't do all those things. Don't do all those things. 23rd we ignored. So 1 second. 23rd we solved. What did we ignore? 23rd we solved. 23rd we solved. Okay, 24th we are doing. 10, 16, 10, 10, 16. You see 10 is repeated 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And 16 is repeated 4 times. Equal number of times. So x is 10, 16. Frequency, this is also 4 times. This also 4 times. When they're equal, you can actually ignore it. You can consider it's a long process. But directly you can do. And when 2 numbers are there, you can do half of range. Please remember the shortcut also. So half of 16 minus 10, that comes to 3. Answer is 3. Why should we ignore the sign? That we have explained. All measures of dispersions are positive only. So negative number should be ignored. We have done so many problems by now. In the equation, minus number we ignore, constant we ignore. Here we can use the shortcut half of range. Correct. Okay, next. For any two number, SD is always half of range. I think it's a repeated one, but good concept, good shortcut, repeated one. SD is always half of range. From the following data, find the mean marks. Okay, this you should be careful, my dear friends. You should be slightly careful. They have given less than 10, less than 20, less than 30, less than 40, less than 50. Can you please tell me this? What is this less than, less than, less than, less than? Is number of students what we have is frequency or cumulative frequency? This is lesser than cumulative frequency. So marks, if I write it as less than 10 means 0 to 10, then 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and that's all, 40 to 50. How do we convert this into frequency? Frequency we find out by finding the difference. Hope you remember the previous chapter we discussed. The first one is 5. How much is second? 13 minus 5, which is 8. 23 minus 13, 10. 27 minus 23, 4. 30 minus 27, which is 3. So we have F. Quickly find out X. 0 plus 10 divided by 2, 5. 10 plus 20 divided by 2, 15. 25, 35, 45. Let's multiply F into X. 5 into 5, 25. 8 into 15, 120. 10 into 25, 250. 4 into 35, 140. 3 into 45, 135. And total is 670. And frequency total is 30 students. So mean X bar is 670 divided by 30. How much you get? 670 by 30. Think 22 point something. Okay, 22.33. So none of this. The answer is not 22.67 because this is 22.33. 22.67 is 23, and answers are so close, right? 20.67, 22.67, 26.67. When the answers are having decimals, your answer has to be accurate. If answers were like 21, 25, 26, then you can round it off. But when the answers are with decimals, even your option also should be with decimals. So you cannot select 22.67. It has to be option D. The closest will come if the question has rounded off. I mean, in the options are rounded off, but here options are not rounded. So our answer has to be accurate. Or wherever possible, we'll try to be accurate, wherever possible. Next. What is the median for the following observations? Compute quickly, simple ones. You first make an arrangement, arrange least to highest, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11. N plus 1 by 2, how many observations are there? 6 observations. 6 plus 1 by 2, that is 3.5th value, that is third, plus 4th by 2, third is 6 value, 4th is 8, so 6 plus 8 by 2 is 7. So option B, 7. Okay, next. The algebraic sum of deviation from a set of observation from their mean is 0. Correct. Summation x minus x bar. Always. Same question they will ask in different ways. Sum of deviation from their arithmetic mean, AM arithmetic mean is 0. What is the modal value? What is the modal value? Which is the most repeated one here? 10 is repeated 2 times. So 10. That is the highest number of times. That is the highest number of times. Next. What is the GM for the numbers 8, 24, 40? You can solve it, but I told you can do by solutions method. How you do the solution method? 8, 24 and 40. Please tell me when you multiply how much you get? 8 into 24 into 40. You get 7680. 7680. And we know we need to take a cube root of this for us to get the geometric mean. So what do? Options you cube it. 24 cube you don't get. 12 cube you don't get. 8 cube root of 15 whole cube. So 8 cube, in this cube root and cube gets cancels. 8 cube into 15, we get the answer 7680. So answer is 8 cube root of 15. Done? Okay, next. The harmonic mean for the numbers 2, 3, 5, you know, n divided by 1 by x1, 1 by x2, 1 by x3. So you should get 2.9. Please check it out. 2.9, option C. Okay, next. If AM for GM for two numbers are 6.56, the two numbers are options method, AM and GM, options method. So if I do geometric mean, multiply and take square root. So 9 into 4 square root, we get 6. Right answer. So option B. Options method. Options methods. Okay, next. If AM and HM are 5 and 3.2, then GM will be. GM is square root of AM and HM. So square root 5 into 3.2 square root. 5 into 3.2 square root. That gives you 4. So option D. Okay, next. If two variables are given, mean and mean deviation about mean are 1 and 0.3 respectively, then what is the coefficient of mean deviation of y about mean is? Write out, let's see. Okay, you're getting D as the answer. Okay. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain. So we have the equation 2x plus 3y plus 7 equal to 0. They said mean is 1. Mean is 1. For computing mean, we don't eliminate constant because mean is dependent on origin and scale. So nothing ignoring. Therefore, so 2 into 1 is 2 plus 3y plus 7 equal to 0. So 7 plus 2 becomes 9. So 3y plus 9 equal to 0. 3y equals to minus 9 and y equals to minus 9 divided by 3. So y equal to minus 3. Mean, I never said it is only positive. I told range, mean deviation, quartile deviation, standard deviation. These are not negatives. Mean can be negative, median can be negative, mode also can be negative. So mean can be negative. So minus 3. But when I use the same equation, 2x plus 3y plus 7 equal to 0. When I'm using mean deviation as 0.3, then I ignore constants and we ignore minus sign. So what do we get? X is 0.3. So 2 into 0.3 plus 3y equal to 0. So 3y is 2 into 0.3 becomes 0.6. I'll take it to right side. It becomes minus 0.6. So y equals 0.6 by 3 means minus 0.2, but we will make it as plus because mean deviation cannot be negative. They are asking coefficient. Coefficient is calculated by mean deviation, which is 0.2, divided by mean, which is minus 3 into 100. So you get minus 6.67. So answer is minus 6.67. Coefficient of mean deviation can be negative. I never said coefficient cannot be negative. Mean deviation, standard deviation, range quartile deviation, these four are always positive. Their coefficients can be negative. I'm not telling coefficients cannot be negative. Coefficients can be negative. All of these four coefficients can be negative. Possible, definitely possible. Okay? Next. Any questions on this? Done? Okay, got it. Very good. Two variables are given, then y is. Simple substitution, nothing else. Here, just a substitution. Here, simple substitution. This is not actually any mean or median, just substitution actually. If x, I think x bar equal to 6. Is it x or x bar in the problem? X only, okay. Just substitute, nothing else. X equal to 6, substitute equal to 6. 6 into 5 becomes 30. 30 plus 6y plus 9 equal to 0. So 6y equals to minus 39. Y equals to minus 39 by 6. So minus 6.5. Yeah, minus 6.5. That's all the answer. Minus 6.5. Minus 6.5. Okay, got it? Next. What is the value of first quartile for the observation? Q1 you have to calculate. Arrange from least to highest. Array from least to highest. 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, 20, 23, 28. Q1, n plus 1 by 4. Number of observations, 8. 8 plus 1 by 4, 2.25. 2.25 is calculated as 2 as it is. Decimal 0.25. Difference between next two observations, third minus second. Third is 15, second is 12, and 15 minus 12 into 0.25 is 0.75. So you get 12.75. Option C. 12.75. Okay. Next. The third decile for the numbers 15, 12, 25 is third decile. Decile, how do you calculate? First you arrange from least to highest. 9, 10, 11, 12 like that till 25. Third decile, n plus 1 by 10. Decile means divide by 10. Third, so multiplied by 3. So number of observation is 8. 8 plus 1 by 10. That is 27 by 10, 2.7. 2.7, how do we calculate? Second observation, 0.7 into third minus second. Second observation in the array, 10. Third observation, 11. 11 minus 10 is 1. 1 into 0.7 becomes 0.7. So it is 0.7. Okay, 10.7. Good. If there are two groups containing 30 observations having 50 and 60 as arithmetic mean, then combined arithmetic mean is, that is simple one, combined arithmetic mean n1 x bar 1, n2 x bar 2, so 30 multiplied by 50, 20 observations multiplied by 60 divided by 30 plus 20. So 2700 divided by 50, you get it as 54. Gone done? Okay, next. The mean weight of 40 female students is 42 and for a group of 60 students is 52. What is combined mean? Again, simple one. See, I believe, I hope you are able to get it. I am giving answer directly, 48. Hope you are getting it. Hope you are getting it. Yes? Okay, good. The average salary of a group of skilled worker is 10,000 and that of a group of unskilled worker is 10,000, skilled worker is 15,000. If combined salary is 12, then what is the percentage of skilled workers? Okay, any idea what is the answer? Anybody? What is the answer? Okay. So we have in this problem one group unskilled workers, another group skilled workers. So we have skilled, workers, we have unskilled workers, and then we have combined. Skilled, unskilled, combined. What is given? What is their average? I'll say X bar. Skilled workers average is 15,000. Unskilled workers average is 10,000. And combined average is 12,000. Combined average is 12,000. And they are asking percentage of skilled workers. Percentage. Total, I'll take it as 100. Total, I'll take it as 100. Skilled workers, I'll take it as X. So unskilled workers, can I take it as 100 minus X? Are you able to understand? You see, total percentage. Percentage means 100. Out of 100, let's say, if 80% is skilled, balance 20% is unskilled. Total is 100. So this is X. This is whatever it is. This should be 100 minus X. So if this is 80, this will be 100 minus 80, 20. So therefore I've taken 100 minus X, right? Now what you should do? Simple, combined average. What is combined average? X bar 1, 2, combined average. N1 X bar 1 plus N2 X bar 2 whole divided by N1 plus N2. X bar 1, 2, combined average 12,000 equals N1, number of observations, we don't know, percentage will take X multiplied by X bar 1, 15,000. X into 15,000 plus N2 we don't know, but we have taken 100 minus X. 100 minus X multiplied by their salary 10,000 whole divided by N1 plus N2. N1 is X, N2 is 100 minus X. We can cross multiply. 12,000 into 100, that becomes 12 lakh. Then 15,000 into X, 15,000 X, 10,000 into 100, that becomes 10 lakhs. 10,000 into X is 10,000 X. Then I'll bring 10 lakh to left side. It becomes 12 lakh minus 10 lakh equals 15,000 minus 10,000 means 5,000 X. So 5,000 X equals, this is 12 lakh minus 10 lakh means 2 lakh. So X equals 2 lakh divided by 50, that is 40. X we have taken skilled, so the answer is 40%. Please go through the questions one more, solution once more. Let me know if any step need to be explained. Don't tell me once more, I don't know where to start. Whichever step, which number I have assumed, which step you want me to explain, if you have any doubt, you can ask. $5,000. How we got 5,000? 15,000 X minus 10,000 X. That gave me 5,000. How we got 10 lakh? 10 lakh we got by cross multiplying. 10,000 multiplied by 100 gave me 10 lakh. 10,000 multiplied by X gave me 10,000 X. 2 lakh divided by 5,000. Correct. That's a mistake. 2 lakh divided by 5,000. Yes. 2 lakh by 5,000. That's how I got 40. Yes. 2 lakh by 5,000. 50 was wrong. 2 lakh by 5,000. Correct. 2 lakh by 5,000. That was a mistake. Answer is what? Any other step? Any other doubts? If you have, you can ask. Okay? Now, okay, hope it is done. Before we go to the next problem, one small shortcut. One small shortcut. So you write like this: skilled, unskilled, then we got combined. Skilled, unskilled, and combined. How much was skilled salary? Skilled salary was 15,000. Unskilled salary was 10,000. Combined salary is 12,000. Combined salary is 12,000. Please focus. This is the shortcut. If you apply the shortcut, you can get the answer in 10 seconds. In your brain only you can calculate. In your mind only you can calculate. Observe, focus. What you should do is, you should find out the difference between combined salary and individual salary. How do you find out the difference? Not straightforward difference. Compute the cross difference. Cross difference. So 15,000 minus 12,000. You should write here 3,000. Similarly, cross difference. 12,000 minus 10,000. That should give you 2,000. So what is the ratio now? 2,000, 3,000 means 2:3. You know percentage means 100. Divide in this ratio. 100 into 2 by 5. Like you divide in partnerships. If a profit is 100 rupee, if I in the ratio of 2:3, what is one partner's share? Into 2 by 5. Right? 2 by 2 plus 3. That's what you should do. That's how you get the answer as 40. So what you should do? Write skilled, write unskilled, write combined. Then how do you find out? Cross deduct. 15,000 minus 12,000 is 3,000. 12,000 minus 10,000 is 2,000. Then in this ratio, divide the percentage, you get the answer. You can apply this shortcut for any combined mean. If you want to compute the number of people, percentage of people, you can apply this. Please write down the shortcut somewhere. People always forget the shortcuts. And this shortcut, what we learn, we can also use it in ratio proportions. In one case, not every case, but in one case we can make use of it. Please write down. Let me know if anything need to be explained. Cross deduct. If you take unskilled on the left, then your answer is not unskilled. You need right screen. No, you don't need, your answer will be 3:2 then. And you want the second number. So 100 into 2 by 5 then. You get 40 only. If you take unskilled first, skilled later, we want skilled number. Corresponding to skilled number is 2. So we do 2 by 5. Same answer only we get. Whichever order you do it. Got it? Shall we move further? Okay. Okay, suppose population A has observations 101, 102, 103 till 200, and another population B has observations 151, 152, 153 till 250. If VA and VB represents the variance of two populations respectively, then VA and VB is equal to. Okay, see, we have set A. What is set A? We have 101, 102, 103 till 200. Another set we have, another set of observation is 151, 152, 153, like that till 200. Can you please tell me what is the connection between these two observations? What is the connection between these two sets? Every observation is increased by 100. 100, 101 becomes 151. 102 becomes 152. That means each observation increased by 100. Each observation is increased by 100. That is change of origin. Correct. Change of origin. Change of origin. Now tell me, when each observation is increased, what will happen to variance or standard deviation? When each observation is increased, what will, okay, each observation increase by 50. Okay, increase by 50 each. 50 each. 50 each, correct. Increase by 50 each. When each observation is increased by 50, what will happen to variance? Do you think variance will change or variance will remain same? Variance will not change. Variance remains same. Remains same because independent of change. Independent of change. So variance don't change. Variance remains same. Variance remains same. So if this variance is VA, some number VA, this also will be VA only. And when you do same number divided by same number, answer will be equal to 1. Actually, there's nothing to calculate. By looking at the problem, you should tell the answer. Just to explain, I wrote so much. In the exam, nothing required. You just observe same variance, same number, divide by same number, you know answer is going to be 1. Okay, next. AM and coefficient of variation are 10 and 40 respectively, what is the variance of 15 minus 2x? Okay, this is slightly tricky question. Let me do it for you. What is given? AM and coefficient of variation. What is coefficient of variation? Standard deviation by x bar into hundreds. And what is given? Coefficient of variation is 40. And arithmetic mean is 10. So standard deviation divided by 10 into 100. So what will be the cross multiplication? 40 into 10 becomes 400. Then 100 comes to left side, equals standard deviation, or standard deviation is equal to 4. So we have mean x bar is given as 10 and standard deviation is given as 4. We calculate as 4. But what do we require? 15 minus 2x, that too variance. This is standard deviation. We need variance. So what is variance? 4 square. 4 square becomes 16. 16. Okay. Next. Remember what is the shortcut I told you for computing variance? For variance, they have given 15 minus 2x. Remember the shortcut? This 15 should be ignored. 15 should be ignored, and minus also will be ignored. Anyway, you can't have minus sign. Remember what we should do with respect to coefficient? Remember what we should do with respect to coefficient? To compute variance, the coefficient should be squared. Coefficient should be squared. So 2 square multiplied by variance of x. Variance of x is 16. So this is 4 into 16. You get the answer as 64. So it's not there. So none of this. If anybody having an issue, you can leave and you can join back. I will add it, no problem. Okay. Why we ignored 15? Constants. When the equation is given, standard deviation, measure of dispersion is independent of origin. Therefore, when the equation is given, we will ignore the constants. When the equation is given, we will ignore the constant for range, for mean deviation, for quartile deviation, and for standard deviation. A constant is ignored when an equation is given, independent of origin. In 41 sum, how do we get 1? We have two set of observations. Both set of observations has got same variance. So when you divide the number by same number, you get the answer as 1. That's how we got 1. Both sets have got same variance. That's why it is 1. Okay, next. Mean and standard deviation for a given set of observations is 1500 and 400 respectively. If there is an increment of 100 in the first year and each observation is hiked by 20% in the second year, find the new mean and standard deviation. For all standard deviation, we must ignore the coefficients. I never said it. For standard deviation, coefficient should not be ignored. Constant should be ignored, not the coefficient. Constant should be ignored. I did not ignore the coefficient. Coefficient I have considered. Constant, that 15 I have ignored. Yeah, constant is ignored. Not only for standard deviation, for mean deviation, for range, for quartile deviation. For these 4 measures, constant is ignored, minus sign is also ignored. Independent of origin, and these 4 cannot be negative. Okay, let's see if anybody get this answer. 43rd. Why constants are ignored? Because independent of origin. Independent of origin. Constant means origin. And when you add, a change of origin happens, but the constant, the measures of dispersion don't change. So even though you add constant, measures of dispersion don't change, so we ignore the constant. Okay, so they have given mean x bar as 1500 and standard deviation as 400. This they said in the first year square is necessary in the 42nd sum because we are computing variance. In variance, we have to do the square. I told you the shortcut. In variance, the coefficient should be squared. So in 42nd sum, it was required. Okay, so in the first year, what happened? They have increased by 100 each. They have increased by 100 each, and in the second year, they have increased by 20% each. Increased by 20% each. So 1500, when each observation is increased, 1500 will become 1600. Because when each observation is increased, mean also will increase. When each observation is increased, mean also will increase. Correct? But what about standard deviation? Standard deviation will be 400 only. Standard deviation don't change. This is the change of origin. Change of origin. Change of origin means arithmetic mean changes. And standard deviation is remaining same. It does not change. Arithmetic mean is dependent. Standard deviation is independent. When you are independent, you remain same. When you are dependent, you will change. Got it? This is for first year, but they have not asked for first year. They have asked for second year. They have asked for second year, and they have increased by 20%. Tell me, increased by 20% is change of origin or change of scale? Increased by 20% is change of origin or change of scale? Change of scale. Increased by 20%. Are you sure? Increased by 20% is a change of scale. Origin. Change of origin. Are you sure? Change of origin. Okay. Just because I react, you don't have to change your answers. Okay. You can never guess the answer based on in my expression. I will give same expression every time. Okay. I told you this in the basics. When you increase by 20%, effectively you are not adding, you are multiplying by 1.2. Do you remember? When you increase by a percentage, you actually don't increase, you actually multiply by 1 plus increase. Hope you remember. So when you multiply by 1.2, multiply by a constant, it is change of scale. It is change of scale. And change of scale means both change. Mean also change, standard deviation also change. So 1600 into 1.2 becomes 1920. What about standard deviation? Standard deviation also changes, also dependent. So 400 multiplied by 1.2, that is 48. So answer is 1920 and 48. Answer is 1920 and 48. Very tricky question, exam question. It is 1 plus increase. When you increase by 20%, it is 1 plus 0.2. Correct. That's the percentage. Basics we discussed, no? When you increase the price by a certain percentage, the new number will be 1 plus increase. So 1 plus 0.2 is 1.2. 1 plus 0.2. 20% means 0.2. 1 plus 0.2 is 1.2. You did not understood second year. Which number you did not understood? Which one? $1.2. This again basics. That's the reason why I do basics class actually, that you should not get confused later, but I end up in explaining here also, there also. Anyway, so whenever you increase by percentage, it is actually 1 plus increase. That is how you compute the new numbers. Therefore, the new number is obtained by 1 plus increase is 20%, 0.2. So it is multiplied by 1.2. So 1600 into 1.2, 400 into 1.2. Increase by percentage means we actually multiply. Increase by percentage means we actually multiply. In fact, we had discussed this in great detail when we did arithmetic mean, change of scale, change of origin, with example I discussed. We had taken numbers, salary, wages of a person, family expenditure, increased that number we did in detail, that problem. Illustration. Number is illustration 11. Illustration 11, please take a look at it once more. We had done each family increasing by 10%. It is change of scale. When you increase by percentage, change of scale. If the increase 10%, then you do 1 plus 0.1, correct? Yes. Like quartile, decile, percentiles, independent of origin, dependent on scale. Yes, all measures of dispersion. All measures of dispersions are independent of scale. Measures, decile percentiles are not measures of dispersion. They are measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency are dependent. They are dependent. Quartiles, median, percentiles, they are dependent. They are measures of central tendency. Only measures of dispersions are independent of origin, dependent on scale. Only measures of dispersion. But measures of central tendency, all measures of central tendency are dependent. quartiles, median, everything, mode, everything is dependent. SDEs depend on change of scale, yes. Standard deviation, mean deviation, range, quartile deviation is dependent on scale, is dependent on scale, is dependent on scale. Range, standard deviation, quartile deviation, mean deviation is independent of origin, independent of origin, independent of origin. It means when an equation is given for range, for mean deviation, for standard deviation, for quartile deviation, when an equation is given, we ignore the constant, but we consider the coefficient. Minus sign we ignore because range, mean deviation, quartile deviation, standard deviation, all four are positive numbers. These four cannot be negative, and these four are independent of origin, depend on scale. We ignore the constant, we ignore the negative number, but multiplier we will consider for range, mean deviation, standard deviation, for quartile deviation, for range, mean deviation, standard deviation, and quartile deviation. SD is dependent on change of scale. So we multiplied 400 into 1.2. Yes, even mean is dependent on scale. So we multiplied 1.2. When you add, mean will change. Standard deviation don't change. When you multiply, mean also changes. Standard deviation also changes. You have written the table also, no? Range, mean deviation, quartile deviation, standard deviation. We have written the table. One table I have made it to write. Change of scale, one table. I have told dependent, 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 dependent. Then change of origin, independent, 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 independent. We have written the table also. We have done so much. Is it fine? This is a very important area, so it's okay for me to spend a little extra time here. It's an important area. Okay, I'll go further. The mean and standard deviation of 100 observations are calculated as 40 and 5.1 respectively by a student who took one observation as 50 instead of 40 by mistake. The correct value of standard deviation would be a problem similar to that we had done. I don't know whether you remember. Let's do it together. If you have done good, let me just quickly do it. Do you want me to show a very similar problem we had done? The thing, illustration 50 or 51 or something. Illustration 50, I think. More of independence and dependence. I had given you note also. Please revise. You will be able to get it. We have done enough number of times. Please revise. Please take a look at your books. We have done from the arithmetic mean stage, individual one more small problem we did. What is change of origin? What is change of scale? We wrote the sentence. So please read that. You will get the clarity. Otherwise, still you will forget. Okay. Do you want me to explain this problem? The answer is B, 5. A similar problem was done. If you want me to solve this, I'll solve it now. Or a similar problem, if you can do it, it's fine. Do you want explanation for this one? How this 5 comes? Yes? Okay. So first you should do existing. (43)s. Okay. First we should do the existing. Yeah, 5.01 is fine. 5.01 is fine. That is the closest one we have. We can't do anything. 5.0 is fine. So existing we should do. Then we go for revised one. So existing for sample of 100 observations. So X bar is calculated as 40. So X bar 40 equals summation X divided by N 100 observations. So summation X equals 40 into 100, which is 4000. And existing standard deviation is 5.1 equals summation X. Summation X square we require, which we don't know. Summation X square divided by number of observations 100 minus summation X by N, which is we have calculated just now 4000 divided by 100 whole square root. To simplify, take a square root on both sides. Take a square root on both sides. So 5.1 square, how much you get 5.1 square? 26.01 something. What is 5.1 square? 26.01 equals summation X square by this square root, and square gets cancelled. You get summation X square by 100 minus 4000 by 100 is 40. 40 square is 1600. 1600 comes to left side. That is 26.01 plus 1600 is summation X square by 100. So summation X square cross multiply if I do 1626.01 multiplied by 100. I think that will give you 162601. 162601, right? 162601. Okay. This is the existing one. Then we'll compute the new one, revised, corrected. From 4000, subtract the wrong one, considered as 50. So minus 50 instead of 40. So plus 50. So that is 3990. This is summation X revised. Similarly, summation X square revised is 162601 minus what is 4201? Okay, so this we subtract by 50 square and we add by 40 square. So 162601 minus 2500 plus 1600. So 161701. Okay. So 161701. So revised standard deviation is based on this. 161701 is summation X square divided by N is 100 minus summation X revised one 3990 divided by 100 whole square. Then do a square root. You get 5? Okay. You get 5. Okay, hope you got it. Any of the steps here? Yeah, 5.01, the closest only is 5, so answer is that. Okay, let's move on then. Sum of squares of deviation from mean of 10 observation is 250. Mean of the data is 10. Find the coefficient of observation. How to remember all the concepts and other things perfectly? Practice. There is nothing else, and this is not so much. Just solve more number of problems, revise, write as many tests as possible, solve previous question papers, look at the institute exercise questions. Sufficient. You practice, you will get it. Initially, because it's new to you, you may feel like that. But when you practice, you will come to know. Let me tell you 1 minute on that. See, every step of life, it goes like that. Have I told you this? I don't know whether I told you, because if I told you, I don't want to repeat it. Like when you are in school, school is difficult. When you come to high school, school becomes easier. Have I told you this? No? Okay. See, when you come to high school, your previous life becomes difficult. You thought high school is really difficult. From high school, you come to college. When you come to college, you feel like, what is high school? School. That is not as difficult. College is the real difficulty stage. Then you join CA Foundation, which you are in now. You feel like, college, is that an exam? CA Foundation is the real exam. You feel like that. Then you come to CA Intermediate. CA Intermediate, you will be like, CA Foundation, is that an exam? Only multiple choice questions are given. Easy questions are asked in fundamental, only 4 subjects. CA Intermediate is real difficulty stage. 8 subjects are there. After CA Intermediate, you join articleship. You know, you should do articleship. In the articleship stage, you have to work under a CA. By working under a CA, and you will be having parallel CA final exam preparation also. So there you feel like, CA Intermediate was okay. Now I'm working under somebody. I'm not getting time to study also. Then you write CA final examination. When you write CA final exam, you'll be like, articleship was okay. It was getting over after 3 years. But this CA final is not getting over only. Then you join employment. After joining employment, you'll be like, CA final was better. I was reading it on my own pace. I could read whenever I want, no obligations. Nobody was asking me anything. This employment means I have to work for somebody. Work is not getting over only. Family, so much difficulty is there. After employment, you get married and everything in the life becomes easier. Anyway, so the point I'm trying to tell you is, when you do, at that point in time, it looks difficult. When you go further, the previous one becomes easier. To giving a simple answer, to give you a simple answer, or a little bit philosophical, maybe you can think whatever it is. Your life, you have seen so many struggles, so many challenges, so many problems. You are there. Those problems are not there. till today. Do you understand what does it mean? You are always a bigger person than any problem you face in your life. I'm talking about each and every one of you. I'm not differentiating everybody. Each and every one of you have faced problems. Problems in walking, problems in learning cycle, problems of falling, whatever it is. Each one of you have suffered problems, and each one of you don't have that problem now, which means each one of you is bigger than the problem you face. So these statistics, these mathematics are small problems. Okay, just one sentence before I'll come back to the problems. In life, I think examination, these chapters are still easier than life itself, because we teach you first, then exam comes. You know that what have been taught, you can face the exam. But in real life, lessons or exams are given first, lessons comes later. In real life, exams are suddenly given, challenges are given. How do you face it? No syllabus, no concept, no teacher. So life is always more difficult, challenging than examination. Okay, so when you consider all these things, the statistics, mathematics and all becomes much easier. Anyway, let us come back to this. So sum of deviation of squares of sum of squares of deviation from mean. What is this sum? Sum means summation, and then squares means v square, deviation means x minus x bar. So summation x minus x bar is given as 250. 10 observation, so n is 10. And what is standard deviation? Square root of x minus x bar, the whole square, divided by n. 250 divided by 10 square root. I think that is 5. And x bar, mean, is given as 10 already. So coefficient of variation is standard deviation divided by mean into 100. 5 divided by 10 into 100, that is 50%. 50%. Okay, next one. Factory, number of employees, mean salary, standard deviation of salary. Examine which factory is more consistent so far as satisfaction of employees are considered. Let's compute coefficient of variation. That's calculated by standard deviation divided by mean. This homework problem and practice problem 5-6 times before exam, it's definitely sufficient. I always say my material has everything, but for more safety level, just cover institute questions also. Institute, the solved answers are there, that portion you just cover it for safety level. Then if you have time, you can look at previous year question papers and all, but this has quite sufficient problems, enough for exams. Okay, so standard deviation by mean into 100, 10 divided by 4,800 into 100. How much you get? 10 divided by 4,800 into 100. Ten divided by 4,800 into 100. You get 0.208, let's say 0.21, and here 12 divided by 5,000 into 100, that is 0.24. So higher the variation is in B, and higher the variation, lower the consistency. Lower the variation, higher the consistency. So more consistency is in option A. Therefore, factory A. Factory A is less CV, more consistent. Less CV, more consistency. Less CV, more consistency. Okay, next. If variable assumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then what is the arithmetic mean? Variable means x value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Frequency is f 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When frequency is given, we should multiply. So f into x 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 3, 9, 4, 4, 16, 5, 5, 25. So frequency is 10 and this total is how much? That is 55. Oh, this is 11, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. Okay, 15. And this is 55. So x bar 55 divided by 15, that is 3.66. So 3.66 is same as 11 by 3. 3.66 and 11 by 3 both are same. So option A. Okay, somebody wanted the previous one. Okay. So this 47th, let's go further. Two variables are given. Median is 20. What is median of y? Simple substitution. In Calci, how do we know the fraction? Just substitute. 11, you calculate 11 by 3, you get the answer. 55 by 15, you get the answer. Decimals cannot be calculated to fractions. Fractions can be calculated to decimals. Median is 20. 20 in, just substitute 2 into 20 minus 3. You get 37. Don't ignore constant here. Don't ignore constant here. Consider constant. This is median. You should ignore constant only for range, mean deviation, standard deviation, quartile deviation. Only for these four constants are ignored, not for others. Only for these four constants are ignored, not for others. Okay, next. If the relationship between variables given by 2u plus v is 7, if am of u is 10, am of v is simple substitution, nothing else, simple substitution. Am of u is 10. In place of u, you place it as 10. So 2 into 10 plus v plus 7 equal to 0. So 20 plus v plus 7 equal to 0. So v equals to 27 goes to right side, becomes minus 27. Minus 27, not plus 27. We don't ignore minus sign. Minus is ignored only for 4. Range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation. For all other things, don't ignore the constant, don't ignore the sign. Next. If x and y are related, mode of x is 23. What is mode of y? Simple substitution, nothing else. Mode of x is 23. Simple substitution. So 23 minus y minus 10 equal to 0, or 23 minus 10 equals to y, y equals to 13. Simple substitution, nothing else. For mean, median, mode, quartiles, deciles, percentiles, some simple substitution, no other concept. But for range, mean deviation, standard deviation, quartile deviation, minus sign is ignored, constant is ignored when an equation is given. Only for these four measures. Only for these four measures. Okay, okay. So we have done this. Quite a few more problems to go. Before that, we'll take a break. 4:20 now. Take a break of 20 minutes. 4:40 will meet. 20 minutes break. 4:40 will meet. 20 minutes break. Okay. Okay. So moving on, I got some requests that can we change the timings of the class to an extent. I'm extremely sorry, I'll not be able to do. I will tell you my schedule. Morning 6:30 to 9:30, one class. 10 to 2, second class. 2:30 to 6:30, your class. Then 7 to 9, one more class. So I'm having 4 class in a day, amounting to 12 hours. 4 plus 4, 11, no, 13 hours. So 13 hours class. So it will be very difficult for me to manage. So this is what I can do. I'll have to do with that. Maybe after a few days we can check, but at least not at this point in time. Okay, let's go further. Yeah, if GM of X is 10, GM of Y is 15, GM of XY is, that is very simple. If one is 10, another is 15, you simply multiply 10 into 15, 150. There is no other confusion there, 150. Next, if AM and GM for 10 observations are both are 10, the value of HM is also, 15, value of HM is also 15. That is, when all observations are equal, when all observations are equal, AM equal to GM equal to HM. All are equal, therefore it's equal to 15. Equal to 15. Following are marks of incomplete distribution having the modal marks as 44. What would be the mean marks? Okay, this kind of questions in the exam is not going to happen because it's a lengthy question, no shortcut also. But I'm still doing it because we get the conceptual clarity regarding this, for that purpose only. Okay, only for conceptual purpose. This question does not come in examination. Okay, so they have said modal mark is 44. So modal class is 40 to 60. And modal class is 40 to 60 means this 18 becomes F0. This question mark is F1. This one is F2. And what is the formula for mode? Lower value plus F1 minus F0 divided by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 multiplied by C. So mode is 44. Mode is 44. Lower value is 40. Lower value is 40. Frequency 1 minus frequency 0, which we don't know. I'll just take it as X minus F0, previous one, which is 18, multiplied by class width 40 to 60, width is 20, whole divided by 2F1, that is 2 into F1 is what we don't know. I'm taking it as X minus F0, previous one 18, and next one which is 12. So cross multiply, 44 goes to left side, 40 goes to left side, 44 minus 40 equals, I'll open the brackets here. So 20 into X becomes 20X, 20 into 18 becomes 360, divided by 2X as it is, 18 and 12 becomes 30. So 44 minus 40, that becomes 4. So cross multiply, 2x into 4 is 8x. Then 30 into 4 becomes 120 equals 20x as it is, and 360 as it is. Now when you want to simplify this, group the x value on one side, numbers on other side. Minus 360 comes to left side, minus 360 becomes plus 360, minus 120 as it is, 20x minus 8x goes to right side, 8x goes to right side becomes minus 8x. So 20 minus 8x will be 12x, 360 minus 120 is 240, so x is 240 divided by 12, which is 20. 240 by 12, 20. But remember, this is not the answer. They are asking the mean marks. So using this equation, now you have to find out the mean marks. For mean, we need x, we need f. X values, they have given a range. We'll convert it into class mark. So 0 plus 20 divided by 2, 10. 20 plus 40 divided by 2, 30. Like that. 50, 70, 90. Frequencies are given 5, 18. We have calculated now this to be 20, then 12 and 5. We need fx to compute mean. 10 into 5 is 50, 18 into 3 is 540, 50 into 20 is 1000. 12 into 7, 840, 90 into 5, 450. Total? So total is 2880. 2880 and frequency total is 60. So x bar 2880 divided by 60. That is 48. 48. This type of question do not come in exam, but only for reference. How do we understand the concept about missing problems? Question, this long process will not come in exam. It's a very long one. Okay, next. Next. The data relating to wages of 20 workers are given below. The employer pay bonus amounting to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 in the wage groups 50 not more than 55, 55 not more than 60, and so on, lastly till 70 and not more than 75 during the festive month of October. What is the average bonus paid per earner? Okay, so what you have to find out is what is the bonus paid. Bonus paid, x values are 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. You have to find out how many people are eligible for this bonus. What is the first range? How many people you get? First 55, 50 to 55. Is PPT visible? Okay. Okay. Okay, so frequency, you have to count how many people are there. 50, 55 don't come. 50 to 55. That means one is 50, then 53, 50. Yeah, I think 3 people will come in the first one. This is 50 to 55. Then 55 to 60. 60 to 65. 65 to 70. 70 to 75. So between 50 to 60, 55 to 60, how many are there? 55 is 1, 60 don't come. 55, 58, 59, then 58 again. Yes, that's all. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 57 also will be there. So 5. 60 to 65, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people. Then 65 to 70, 65, 68, 67, 69, 4. 70 to 75, 70 to 74, only 2 people. So then you multiply fx 100 into 3, 300, 200 into 5000, 300 into 6800, 400 into 4600, 500 into 2000, and do the total. What is this sum coming to? I think 5700, and number of employees are 20. So average 5700 divided by 20 is 285. 285. To 85. To 85. Okay, next one. Mean is of how many types? Mean broadly of 3 types. Arithmetic mean, harmonic mean, geometric mean. Mean is of 3 types. Weighted AM is related to frequency. Weighted AM is related to frequency because weights and frequencies are similar. We multiply weights with x, we multiply frequency with x. We do the total of weights, we do the total of frequency. So weights and frequency are similar. Frequencies are also called as weights? Yes. Frequencies are also called as weights. In a way, yes. Frequencies and weights for calculation purposes, same. Dash is the reciprocal of arithmetic mean of observations. It is harmonic mean. Harmonic mean is the reciprocal of arithmetic mean of reciprocals of observations. Harmonic mean. Harmonic mean. AM is never less than GM. Statement is true. Correct. AM is greater than or equal to GM. So statement is true. Statement is true. The value which occurs with maximum frequency is called as mode. Is called as mode. 58th one, answer is A. Next. The middlemost item when they're arranged in the order of magnitude is called as median. Middlemost. The word itself will say middlemost means median. Middlemost is median. In the formula of median for grouped frequency distribution, N is, capital N is total of all the frequencies. All the frequencies are added. Total of all frequency. All frequencies are added. All frequencies are added. For set of observation, the sum of absolute deviation is dash when the deviations is taken from the median. Sum of absolute deviation is minimum. Sum of absolute deviation is minimum. I told you, mean deviation, you can take it, summation x minus absolute means without. Absolute means without signs. So when I do summation x minus x bar, that is from mean. Then I can do x minus median, that is from median. From mean or median. I told you, we have done one problem also. We have found out, have told you the property. It is least when you compute from median. Mean deviation or sum of deviation is lowest when you calculate from median. So it is minimum. Okay, next. When we want to divide the given set of distribution into two equal parts, we consider median. Median divides the distribution into two equal parts. When all observations occur with equal frequency, dash does not exist. It is mode. Because if everybody is equal number of times, no repetitions. You can't choose one. That means mode does not exist. Mode does not exist. For the observations 5, 3, 6, 3, 5, 10, 7, 2, there are how many modes? You see 5 repeated 2 times, then 3 repeated 2 times. So 5 is also mode, 3 is also mode. There are 2 modes. Therefore, it is bimodal. Yes, it is 2 modes. Bimodal, 2 modes. 5 is repeated 2 times. 3 is also repeated 2 times. 5 is repeated 2 times. 3 also repeated 2 times. When a frequency distribution is given, frequency themselves are treated as weights. This is true. Frequencies and weights both are similar. So frequencies are considered as weights. Yes. Frequencies are considered as weights. Yes. Each value is considered as many times as it occurs for weighted average. As many times means what? When I write x, if I write it as x is 10 and f is 2, how do I write fx? 20. That means what? 10 is repeated 2 times. That's why I'm writing 20. And weight also means same thing only. Weight, when I write it 2, that means I multiply. So 10 is to be counted 2 times. This frequency represents, weights represents number of times. Therefore, number of times, as many times repeated. Option B, weighted average. Option B, weighted average. Next. Deviation may be positive, may be negative, may be zero. The statement is true. Yes, sum of deviation is zero, but individual deviation can be zero, can be negative, or can be zero. The sum of squares of deviation of set of observations has the smallest value when the deviations are taken from arithmetic mean. That is, basically they are telling summation x minus x bar whole square. This is the lowest, is taken from arithmetic mean. Deviation cannot be negative. I never told it. Deviation can be negative, deviation can be positive, deviation can be zero. Sum of deviation is not negative. Individual deviation can be negative. Deviation x minus x bar. X minus x bar can be negative. Summation x minus x bar, when you take it from arithmetic mean, is the lowest. When you take it from arithmetic mean among the three. Among the three, arithmetic mean is the lowest. Next. If the variables are x, z, so that z equal to ax plus b, where a and b are constant, then z bar equal to ax bar plus b, the statement is true. This is what we mean by the change of origin, change of scale. We write, right, y equal to x plus b. This plus b is change of origin, and then ax multiplying means change of scale. It is true. It is true for all the means. Yes, see, that's what I'm asking, x bar and z bar. For means, it is true. Equation, you can simply substitute. We have written this equation also earlier. We have written this. If I write y equal to ax plus b, then y bar can be written as a into x bar plus b. Okay, thank you. Welcome back. Let's wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. Let everybody join. Some internet issue here. On 70th one. Sum of squares of deviation has the smallest value. When you do summation x minus x bar the whole square, we always taken from mean only. We are never taken from AM or we are never taken from HM or GM. The properties, just remember it. The lowest is from AM. You can try with HM and GM. The lowest will always be with AM. And why it is lowest, we can't prove with this. We have to use differentiation and all. So let's not go for it. Let's remember the concepts. The lowest is x minus x bar whole square when you take it from arithmetic mean. We will take it from mean only. That's why standard deviation we have taken from mean. So mean only is more accurate. Mean only is more accurate. From arithmetic only we take x summation x minus x bar whole square. So we take it from mean only. Okay. Next. Dash is useful in averaging ratios, rates and percentages. It is geometric mean. Geometric mean. Ratios, rates, percentages, these are all geometric mean. B. Geometric mean. Geometric mean. Percentage also, yes. Growth means percentage only. Growth means percentage. Growth means percentage. Okay, 71. 71 we were discussing earlier only. Okay, quickly take a look at. The answer is true. This is a linear relationship. 71 was linear relationship. Next. If two variables are given, 2x plus 3y minus 7 equal to 0, mean and mean deviation about mean of x are 1 and 0.3 respectively. The coefficient of mean deviation of y about mean is that this a very similar sum we had done earlier. So please try it. The answer is B. You please try it later. You can try it later. A very similar sum. In fact, same number, only small change. I think I made 2x plus 3y plus 7, I think, in that problem. Otherwise, a very similar problem has been already solved. Take that as the base. A similar problem has already been solved. Next. If the mean deviation about mode, the mean deviation about mode of these numbers are mean deviation about mode. So first of all, you should find about mode. Mode is most repeated one. What is the most repeated one? 6 by 11, 4 by 11. It is 8 by 11. 8 by 11 is the mode. Repeated 2 times. 8 by 11. So you do x minus mode. X values are given 4 by 11, 6 by 11, 8 by 11, 9 by 11, 12 by 11, 8 by 11. So subtract from the mode. So 4 by 11 minus 8 by 11. We'll do one thing. Everything is divided by 11. No. For the time being, we'll do ignore the 11 portion. Unnecessary fraction. Ignore the 11 for the time being. For the time being, make it as value as 4, 6, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12, 8. So mode, you make it as 8. Subtract 4 minus 8 becomes minus 4. 6 minus 8 becomes minus 2. 8 minus 8 is 0. 9 minus 8 is 1. 12 minus 8 is 4. 8 minus 8 is 0. 4, 6, 8, 9. But we ignore the minus sign. Ignore the minus sign. Ignore the minus sign. Minus is not required. Mean deviation means we ignore the signs, absolute signs. So it becomes 4, 4, 8, 2 plus 10 plus 11. Okay, so what is going to be the mean deviation? This total summation x minus mode deviation divided by n number of observations. So this you get 11 total divided by number of observation as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 11 by 6. But remember, everywhere we had divided by 11. That I should do it now. So I'll divide by 11. So what do I get now? This 11 and 11 gets cancelled. So what answer I get is 1 by 6. 1 by 6. One by 6. Okay, next one. If the quartiles of a variables are 45, 52, 65, that means these are Q1, Q2, Q3. Quartile deviation is given by Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Q3 65, Q1 45 divided by 2, that will give you 10. That will give you 10. Okay, next. If x and y are related, quartile deviation of x is 12. What is quartile deviation of y? Quickly just substitute. In place of x, you substitute as 12. So 12 into 3, 36 divided by 4. Ignore constant. You get minus 9, but always make it as plus because it's quartile deviation. So answer is 9. We have done quite a few problems of this kind. For deviations, ignore the constant, ignore the sign. So simply substitute as 12. 12 into 3, 36. 36 divided by 4 gives you 9. If x and y are related, SD and AM of x are known to be 5 and 10 respectively, what is the coefficient of variation of y? So given equation, y equals 2x plus 5, So for arithmetic mean, x bar is given to be 5. So y bar, you can simply substitute 2 into 5 plus 5, that is equal to 15. And standard deviation of x is given as 10. And standard deviation of y will be, we substitute, but the constant is ignored. So you will get the answer as 20. So this is, oh sorry, reverse, sorry, reverse, no, SD is 5, mean is 10, reverse, so sorry, reverse. So mean is given as, SD is 5, mean is 10. So 2 into 10 plus 5 becomes 25, and 5 into 10 becomes 10. So coefficient of variation 10, that is standard deviation, divided by mean, 10 divided by 25 into 100. 10 by 25 into 100, you will get 40. Yes, you will get 40. Okay, next. Question disappeared. Question is there in your material. I hope your material is not disappeared. What is the mean deviation about mean for the following data? Mean deviation about mean. This is slightly lengthier one. Again, I don't expect an examination question, but still we will solve it for our reference purpose. So how do we calculate the mean deviation? Summation x minus x bar modulus divided by n. That is the normal formula. But here we have frequency also. So x minus x bar is fine, but we should also multiply it by f. So first we'll compute the mean. X values are given 5, 10, 15 like that. F values are given, multiply fx. So total you get 380. Total you get 380. Then you compute the mean. Summation fx by n, capital N of course. Some people will identify that also. Let me make it as capital N. So summation fx by n uh, 380 by 23, that is 16.52. 16.52. Then you find out the mean deviation, x minus x bar, deviations. So 5 minus 16.52. 5 minus 16.52. That gives you minus 11.52. Then, but minus we ignored. We only make it as plus. So 11.52. Then 10 minus 16.52. It becomes minus 6.52. That minus we ignore. We only write it as 6.52. Like that, you do for all the values. You get that like that table. I have shown it to you. You can write the table. Okay. Then multiplied by f. Frequency should be multiplied. So 11.52 into 3. You get 34.57. 6.52 into 4. You get 26.09. Like that, do the total. Then that is going to be 139.257. The total 139.57 divided by number of observations divided by 23 will give you 6.07. 6.07. Yes, 6.07, option C. Okay, next. What is the coefficient of variation for the following distribution of wages? Coefficient of variation means you need standard deviation, you need x bar. Please compute. We have done quite a few problems like this. Please do it and tell me what is standard deviation for this, what is x bar for this. Please do it. We have done problems like this with frequency only we have done. Okay, so mean you are getting 54.7. Yes, x bar mean is 54.7. Standard deviation, coefficient of variation, you should not write rupees. Your answer is right, but we should not say rupees. Even the option has that. That rupees is wrong actually. That rupees should not be there because coefficient of variation option should not be there. It should be without units. So rupees should not be there. Anyway. So standard deviation you get 14.73. Standard deviation 14.73. I'll show you the calculation. For those who have not got, please check it out. This is the solution. X bar 54.7, standard deviation 14.73, coefficient of variation x bar by standard deviation into 100. 14.73 by 54.7 into 100. So coefficient of variation gets 26.93. Yes, 26.3. Actually, the rupee is the wrong thing, so take out the rupees part. The rupee should not be there. Okay, done. Yes, okay. Okay, if anybody is writing still, you can take a picture of this. No, this question can come in the exam. This is not a lengthy question. This question can come in the exam because I told you how to get this entire thing without this table. Without the table, we can do using M plus MRC. We can get it. It's possible. So this kind of question can come in the exam. This question can come. There are no other shortcuts, but the calculator method we did, right? 17 into 35 into 35 equal to M plus. That method gives you the answer. So this question can come in the exam. This is a possibility. It's slightly lengthy, but not too much length. Okay, let's go to next one. The mean and SD for a group of 100 observations are 65 and 7.03 respectively. If 60 of the observations are mean and SD as 70 and 3 respectively, what is the SD for the group comprising 40 observations? This problem is based on combined standard deviation. Remember the formula for combined standard deviation, sigma equals n1 sigma 1 square plus n2 sigma 2 square plus n1 d1 square plus n2 d2 square whole divided by n1 plus n2 and square root. This is the formula we had. But what is the difference between the earlier problem we solved and this problem? What is the difference between the earlier problem we solved and this problem? The difference is the combined standard deviation they have given, mean and SD for 100 observations are 65 and 7.03. Combined standard deviation given, but we need to compute the another standard deviation. So let's write down first what is given. So let's say first set, second set combined. Number of observations n. First set is 60 observations. Second set is 40 observations. Combined is hundreds. Similarly, x bar combined is 65, and for the first set standard combined mean for the first set mean is 70, and for the first set standard deviation is 3, and combined standard deviation is 7.03. We have to find out what is the combined, we have to find out what is the standard deviation for the second set. And also if you want, you can compute mean for the second set. So combined they have given. The second set data we have to calculate. First write down this, what is available. First write down this, what is available. Then we'll go for what needs to be computed. Okay. Next we'll compute D1, D2. What is D1 square? The mean minus combined mean. Mean we know 70. Combined mean also we know 65. Second one for D2, second mean we don't know. But we know the combined mean. So write down this also. Write down parallelly with me. D1 x bar 1 70. Please observe 70 given, you see 70 given, 60 given, sorry 70 given and 65 given. This information is not available. This we should calculate. So for that one we'll make use of combined mean formula. Combined mean is 65 and n1 number of observation 60, n2 number of observation 40, x bar 1, x bar 2 70 and x bar 2 we don't know. Cross multiply 65 into 100 6500 60 into 70, 4200, and this as it is 40 x bar 2. Then 6500, 4400 becomes left side becomes minus, that is 2300, and 2300 by 40 becomes 57.5. 57.5. X bar 2 is 57.5. Therefore, we can compute D2 also now. We calculated this one, so we can go for D2 also now. 7.5 minus 65 whole square. So D1 square we get, D2 square also we get. This sum very unlikely because missing figure calculation is there, so less chance, because this is also going to be slightly lengthier one, but conceptually it's better to learn. Okay, next. So we know the formula now. In the formula now we will substitute. What and all will substitute? Sigma 1 square is, what is the variance given? We have identified standard deviation are 3 and this is 7.03. This is 3. So just give me 1 second. This is should be done to be 3 square. Yeah. So number of observation N1 60. Then sigma 1 square, 3 is standard deviation, we need variance, square it. N2 is 40, then square it. That is standard deviation we don't know, we'll keep it as it is. Then 60 number of observations, 40 number of observations. Then D1, D2 square, we got D1 square 25 and D2 square 56.25. Then we cross multiply. We square it first. You square it, 7.03 square, 49.4209. Then 60 into 25, 40 into 56.25, 60 into 9. All the three you add, you get 4290. Just 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So cross multiply 49.42 into 100. (49.42) into 100 is 4942. Then 4290 comes to left side, that becomes minus 4290, that is 652, and divide by 40, then take a square root, you get 16.3. And we need standard deviation to take a square root of this, so 16.3 square root approximately 4. So closest answer we can select, The answer is 4. Closest answer is 4. Should be 4.03, but closest answer will take. This is not too lengthy, but still it's lengthier. Very unlike in the exam, but extreme case it can come. Okay, hope it is done. How to do this kind of big sums? We have done this, no? What is the tension behind it? And in the examination, all problem will not be big problems. Some will be small, some will be big. On an average, you will be able to do it. So only thing is, if you can practice, same kind of questions only comes in the exams. Okay, let's go further. The value of appropriate measure for the following distribution of a daily wage is given by. This is an interesting question. They have not given which measure of dispersion is applicable. Which measure of dispersion do you think we need to apply here? Which measure of dispersion is applicable? Median, standard deviation. Median, standard deviation. Okay. Any deviation. Okay. Standard deviation is the best standard deviation. Is the best deviation. Okay, that's why. Good. Okay. Now, let's come to one by one. They have asked measure of dispersion. How many measures of dispersions are possible? Range. We have mean deviation, standard deviation, quartile deviation. Correct? Now, can I compute range? What is range formula? Minimum and maximum. Minimum and maximum. What is the minimum value here? Below 30, 0. What is the maximum value? What is the maximum value here? They said above 80. Above 80 means how much? We don't know. It's a open-ended interval. Do you understand? Have I given this name? Do you remember? Open-ended interval. It's open. It's not closed. Above 80 is not 80. 80 above. Above and 80 means we don't know how much. It can be 81 also. It can be 85 also. Which means range cannot be calculated. Range fails. Now, for mean deviation, we need x bar or we need x minus x bar, right? We need x minus x bar. And here, above 80 means how much is x value? See, 60 to 79 we can do minimum plus maximum divide by 2, lower value plus upper value divide by 2. So when x value is not given, mean deviation fails, standard deviation also fails. Mean deviation is based on all observations. Standard deviation is based on all observations. When one of the observation is not available, mean deviation fails, standard deviation also fails. Again, I repeat, above 80 means we don't know the number. Class mark, how do you calculate? Minimum is 80. What is maximum? We don't know. So the x value we cannot compute. When x value you cannot compute, x minus x bar you cannot compute. X minus x bar you cannot compute means mean deviation is also not possible, standard deviation is also not possible. We can calculate quartile deviation, QD, because QD only talks about Q1 and Q3. It does not talk about extreme values and is not depend on all the observations. So appropriate measure is quartile deviation. Or you can write one sentence: for open-ended data, quartile deviation is appropriate. For open-ended data, quartile deviation is appropriate. Quartile deviation is appropriate. So we'll have to compute quartile deviation. Quartile deviation, what do we do? Again, this, how do we do? Remember mean deviation? Same process we are going to do. So first we compute cumulative frequency. You please compute cumulative frequency. 5, then 7 plus 5, 12, plus 18, 30, plus 32, 62, plus 28 is 90, plus 10, hundreds. So just like median class, you have to compute Q1 class. How do you compute Q1 class? N divided by 4. N is 100, divided by 4 is 25. Now 25 lies in which class interval? Look at the cumulative frequency. Where 25 is crossed? 25 is crossed in which interval? See, 25 is crossed here, 30. 25 is crossed means it is 40 to 49. Did you get this? Not 50 to 59. 25 is crossed in 30 itself. 40 to 49. And one more small point. As I told you earlier, if you don't remember, I'm repeating it. In every statistical parameter calculation, we don't do with inclusive class intervals. All these inclusive class intervals are converted into exclusive intervals. How? By doing plus 0.5 minus 0.5. So this interval is actually 39.5 to 49.5. So this Q1 lies in the class interval 40 to 49, which means the interval is 39.5 minus 49.5. Similarly, if I do Q3, n by 4 into 3. So 100 by 4 into 3, which is 75. 75 is crossed in 90, means 60 to 79. But 60 to 79 we make it as minus 0.5 for the lower limit, plus 0.5 for the upper limit. So we'll make it as 59.5 and 79.5. 59.5 and 79.5. Okay. Then we use the formula. Same formula for median. Logic also explained. With logic formula I've explained this. But only thing is median is replaced by Q1. In median, remember, it was n by 2. Here we do n by 4. That n by, and for Q3, the only change is this n by 4. We replace it by 3n by 4. Please write down up to this stage. Please write down up to this stage. Okay, now what is the lower value of this Q1? Lower value, this one 39.5, n by 4, that is 25. Previous cumulative frequency, that is 12, and class width 39.5 to 49.5, that is 10, and frequency of the interval is 18. Frequency of the interval is 18, that is Q1 is coming to 46.72. Similarly, you try Q3. Similarly, you try Q3. Q3, lower value 59.5, 3n by 4 is 75, previous cumulative frequency is 62, frequency of that interval is 28, but width is different. Width is different. C is different. C is not same. C is different. C is 20 here. 59.5 to 79.5. C will be 20. Please be careful. Okay. So that number comes to 68.78. Please check it out. 59.5 is the lower value. N by 2 is 75. Previous cumulative frequency is 62. Frequency of the interval is 68. And class width is 20. The answer is 68.78. Then quartile deviation, Q3 minus Q1 by 2, 68.78, 46.72 divided by 2, you get 11.03. So option A, 11.03. Go to the calculations, see if any number need to be explained. Okay, done. So we have not done one quartile deviation problem earlier. Now we have done that also. Okay, next. Why we have not taken n plus 1? N plus 1 we took it for ungrouped data. For group data we take n. For median also, for quartiles, for octiles, deciles, percentiles. For a grouped data we take n by 2 or n by 4. For ungrouped data we take n plus 1. For a group data we always take n. Okay, let me go further. The lower and upper quartiles are used to define quartile deviation. Lower quartile means Q1, upper quartile means Q3. So Q1 and Q3 are used for quartile deviation, used for quartile deviation. Dash is least affected by sampling fluctuations. We have just seen now the same answer, quartile deviation. Least affected by fluctuations. Extreme values, extreme observations. Range is affected because range is depending on extreme values. Mean deviation is affected because mean deviation is depending on all the values. Standard deviation is affected because it is depending on all the values. Quartile deviation is not affected because quartile deviation is only on Q3 and Q1. Extreme values don't have any impact. We have done just the problem now. The value below Q1 or value above Q3 is not going to have any impact. So quartile deviation is least affected by fluctuations, least affected by extreme observations. Okay, so these are the practice problems. I'll give you homework problem answer keys also. You can quickly note it down or you can take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of this homework problem. We discuss sometime later. Homework problems are so many, so we'll discuss one by one. But overall, we'll have one doubt clarification session. So I'll give all the answer keys. You can just note it down. Just note down or take a screenshot, take a picture. You can take a picture of this. All the homework problems in these chapters, about 156 problems are there. Answer keys are given. '82, '83 once more. Lower and upper quartiles are quartile deviation because quartile deviation means Q3 and Q1 based. So the answer is quartile deviation. '83 is also quartile deviation because quartile deviation is not affected by extreme observations. It is depending only on middle 50%. So lower value changes, upper value changes, quartile deviation is not affected. That's why quartile deviation is least affected by fluctuations. Okay, so this is the end of measures of central tendency and dispersion, one of the biggest chapter along with probability. Okay, so we can start new chapter, but anyway today is Freedom Fighters Day, Independence Day. So you also need to have a little bit freedom from my torture. So let's stop at this point today. Not too much relaxation, little bit of relaxation, but keep it in mind, I will set off someday by extending the class. Don't be happy, too much happy in my class. I will set off one day. Anyway, so we'll stop at this point. Have a nice day, have a nice time. Happy Independence Day. Happy learning. We'll see you tomorrow at same time, 2:30. Till then, have a nice time. See you. Bye-bye.